Assalamu alaikum. This is Yuri Ayavani from Rehan School Teachers Training Institute, batch 24, level 1. And my today's topic is exploring the concept of mindset. So, fixed versus growth. So, Maya is with us for conversation. Hello, Maya.
Walaikum assalam. Happy to be here. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so what is a mindset and why is it important in our lives?
At its simplest, your mindset is the set of beliefs you hold about yourself and how the world works. Think of it like a lens you look through. If that lens is dusty or cracked, you might see every mistake as a permanent failure. But if it's clear, those same mistakes just look like data points telling you how to improve. It's important because it actually dictates how you handle the hard stuff. When you believe your abilities can grow, you're way more likely to stick with a problem when it gets frustrating, instead of just deciding you're not built for it.
What is the
I
difference
think I might
between
have
a fixed mindset and growth mindset?
The biggest difference is how you view your own potential. A fixed mindset is the belief that you're born with a certain amount of intelligence or talent, and that's it. It's basically saying, this is just who I am, take it or leave it. The growth mindset is the opposite. It's the belief that your basic qualities are things you can cultivate through effort, good strategies, and help from others. In other words, you're not stuck with the hand you were dealt. You can actually change the game.
How does a growth mindset help us improve ourselves?
It changes how you treat the word fail. When you have a growth mindset, a mistake isn't a wall, it's just a detour. You stop asking, am I good enough? And start asking, what am I missing? This takes the pressure off of being perfect right away, which actually makes you more likely to take risks, put in the work, and eventually get better. It turns the struggle into the actual point of the process.
Can a person change from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset?
Absolutely. It's a bit like building a muscle. You can't just decide to be strong and wake up with biceps, but you can definitely get there with the right training. You start by catching those fixed thoughts when they pop up and consciously reframing them. It takes practice, but the brain is actually wired for this kind of change.
What are the signs that someone has a growth mindset?
You can usually tell by how someone reacts when things go south. Someone with a growth mindset doesn't just tolerate challenges, they actually seek them out. You'll see them leaning into the struggle rather than avoiding it. They view effort as the path to mastery, not a sign of weakness. And instead of getting defensive when they're criticized, they're usually the ones asking for the specific feedback they need to get better. It's basically an obsession with not yet rather than I can't.
How does mindset influence our response to failure?
It's the difference between a bruise and a scar. With a fixed mindset, failure feels like a label. You don't just fail at the task, you feel like you've become a failure. It's a bruise that feels permanent, so you avoid the risk to protect your ego. But with a growth mindset, failure is just information. It's a bruise that heals and makes you tougher. You realize that the setback isn't a reflection of your worth, but a signal that you just need a different strategy.
How does our mindset affect our performance?
It's a total loop. With a fixed mindset, you're scared to look, not smart. So you avoid the hard stuff, which means you never actually get better. You hit a plateau early because you're playing it safe. But with a growth mindset, you welcome the struggle, which builds the skill, which then boosts your performance. It's basically a positive feedback loop where the effort itself becomes the fuel for the result.
How does mindset influence the way we deal with criticism?
It turns criticism from an attack into a tool. If you've got a fixed mindset, criticism feels like a personal verdict. It's like someone's telling you that you're just not enough. So you get defensive or shut down to protect yourself. But with a growth mindset, you see it as a shortcut. You realize the person giving the feedback is actually handing you the map to the next level. So you're more likely to ask, how exactly can I fix this? Instead of, why are you picking on me?
Why is effort important in developing a growth mindset?
Because effort is actually where the growth happens. In a fixed mindset, you think effort is something you only need if you aren't naturally talented. But a growth mindset flips that script. It views effort as the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without it, talent is just potential, not actually skill.
How can parents help us develop a stronger mindset?
Challenge is the actual catalyst. It's like a stress test for your beliefs. When things are easy, it's hard to tell what your mindset actually is. But when you hit a wall, that's when the growth mindset finally gets a chance to prove itself. Overcoming a challenge isn't just about the goal, it's about the evidence you're building for yourself that you can handle the hard stuff.
What role does self talk play in shaping our mindsets?
It's the voice in your head that either fuels you or freezes you. If you're in a fixed mindset, your self talk is a critic. You tell yourself things like, I'm just not a math person, or I've already tried and failed, so why bother? Which basically acts like a stop sign for your brain. But growth mindset self talk is more like a coach. Instead of, I can't do this, it becomes, I can't do this yet. That one little word, yet, changes the whole narrative from a dead end to a work in progress.
How can we replace negative thoughts?
You have to treat them like a bug in the system. You can't just delete them. You have to rewrite the code. Start by noticing the automatic thought, the one that says, I'm not good at this. Instead of fighting it, just acknowledge it, then challenge it. Ask yourself, is that actually true or is that just my frustration talking? And the magic move is the reframe. Flip I'm failing into I'm learning what doesn't work. It's about shifting the focus from the dead end to the possibility.
So, does intelligence depend only on natural ability?
Definitely not. Natural ability might give someone a head start, like starting a race a few steps ahead, but it doesn't determine where they finish. Intelligence is much more like a muscle than a fixed trait. It grows when you challenge it, uh, apply new strategies, and put in the work. The real differentiator isn't where you start, but the effort you put into developing your abilities over time.
What should we say to ourselves when something feels so difficult?
First, acknowledge the suck. It's okay to tell yourself, this is actually really hard right now, because when you pretend it isn't, you end up feeling like you're the only one struggling. The real magic happens when you add that word we talked about, yet. Try. I haven't figured this out yet, but that's where the actual growth is happening. It turns the frustration into a sign that you're on the right track.
Thank you so much, Vaya, to be with us for this conversation. We will see you again on this channel, The Wisdom Talk. Till that time, Allah Hafiz.
Anytime. You did a great job leading that. I'll be ready for the next one. Allah